everyone, I'm here with a process video today, and I'm going to be using the Dear Lizzie Fifth and Frolic collection that I have only touched once to make one other layout this year. So I am going to crack some of these open and get a page done. Let me show you which one. It is from the April edition of the Scrapbook Trends magazine that's no longer being printed. And of course, I took out, see all my little post-its. Here it is. Now this is a page by Mandy Copen, and her blog is mandycopen.blogspot.com. What I really liked about the page was her pictures. I don't know if they're like their brothers or that's a father and son, but I really liked the series of photos here. So I printed out a whole bunch of pictures of my older son holding hands with my husband. So that is the page. And the only other products that I pulled out other than the collection were the Studio Calico Wood Veneer, I think Potty People, and then a flag, I believe by Basic Gray. It came in a Project Life kit, and it's actually, I think, my last one that I have on my desk to finish. And then these two washi tapes here. This one's from Freckled Fawn, and I believe that might be from Freckled Fawn. It's a gold washi tape, but I'm not quite so sure if it is actual Freckled Fawn washi tape. I know I'm going to pull other things, I just haven't like dove into my stash. My room is kind of a mess, kind of not a mess, and I didn't want to start digging, so I'm just going to thumb through the things on my desk while I go through the process, and I will hopefully let you guys know in the voiceover. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye! Hi everyone! Okay, so I spend way too much time on this page. I think that my biggest issue was the fact that I feel like my pictures were too big, or so many pictures were too big, and so it didn't leave me a lot of room to embellish, especially since I had wanted such a large title. So I'm flipping through the pages here and trying to figure out which one to use. It's a page of my son and my husband, and although they're black and white pictures, I didn't want it to be overly girly, so it took me a little bit to decide on which background to go with. I definitely wanted a pattern background instead of just a craft or a white. Now, I started off with this one here. I liked it because it was the neutral color out of the, or a neutral color out of the pack, and I actually don't end up going with it. Here I am cutting out my mats for my photos. My photos are 3x4, so I usually cut it like a half, or I'm sorry, not a half, but an eighth of an inch larger than the actual picture. So, and sometimes it doesn't end up exactly, the right size, so at that point I trim it. I know I only had to trim one or two, and but that's okay. I mean, I was trying not to fuss with it too much, just because I knew I was taped, so I tend to rush just because I feel like I need to, since I am since I have a time limit, not necessarily a time limit, but between the card and the battery, trying to make it work. So here I have my pictures laid out, and I think this is about that time where I realized my pictures are just a little bit too big. I thought, for the longest time maybe I could make it a double page layout, but then I didn't have any doubles of any of the papers, so I was like, I don't really want to bother with doing a double page layout, even though with this many pictures I probably should have just broke down. These are a die set from Memory Box that I actually don't end up using. I had purchased the shim that goes inside my Big Shot, and when I went to go use it, I realized I bought the wrong one. So instead of using those cute little die cut letters that I had planned to punch out, or I'm sorry, to use my die cut machine, I ended up having to go with something else. So these are some Basic Gray chipboard alphas. I can't remember what the collection is from, but they're kind of like a gray color, and I notice as I'm punching them out that the colors kind of blend way too much into the background. So I'm frustrated with the fact that I couldn't use the one that I originally wanted. And then the second that, you know, the letters that I do end up going with are too light. So I had to change out my background, and this is the one I end up using. And like this light blue color with the chevron pointing down. And then I spend forever arranging these letters to make them fit, just because the letters are a little bit on the larger size. So between the large photos and the large title, I was just struggling to make everything work. So here I am just looking at it because I'm feeling like, oh, it just doesn't, you know, it just doesn't go, and it's just way too much for the page. And then I decide at some point that, you know what, let me just do the washi tape, which, let me tell you, I don't know where I bought this washi tape, but it is apparently very cheap because it was coming off. It kind of reminded me of the original like Smash tape that came out with the, what was it? Not the polka dots did the same thing, but I believe there was another one. Let me see if I have it. I don't even think I have it. Anyways, but the Smash tape where it would like peel off underneath it. That makes any sense. Anyways, but that's what's happening in my gold washi tape here. And now I'm just kind of thumbing through and seeing if I can't figure out a way to embellish the page without, you know, sacrificing the space for my letters and my photos. And this is what I mean about taking forever to rearrange these letters. I wanted stuff behind it, so every time I moved something, pictures moved and then the alphas moved. So, and I'm just kind of laying it out. And I actually had to walk away from this page. Like, I think I let it sit for another day because I just could not figure out any other way to make it better. So at some point, I'm going to stop. I can't remember what point it is, but still trying to make it work and add little things in between the pictures to kind of make it better. And then I don't have that little cool tool that that has the powder in it to not make the stickers not sticky. So I just cut a strip of paper and put it behind the sticker. That way, you know, it has it's thicker, and then it also has the ability to become a die cut or like a tag or whatever, and I could just move around with not being too worried about it sticking down. Now that sticker I actually used for an actual sticker purpose. So, all right, here we go. So I don't know if you can tell, but I went ahead and I lightly misted the alphas with the Heidi Swap Gold. What is it? Color Shine. It just gives it a little bit more, like it doesn't pick up in the video, but when you actually look at it in real life, like when I look at it in my albums, I can see the speckles of gold. So it's not just a gray color, and there's more to it than just, you know, than just being plain. And then I take the and then I have to glue down the alphas, which was quite a task in itself. These chipboard letters are actually self-adhesive, but because I think they're an older pack, the adhesive isn't as strong, and they are actually more like thickers. You know, when you have thickers and you actually have to use extra glue, even though it's self-adhesive. Yeah, so I am just using some Scotch quick dry adhesive to put those down, and not a whole bunch, just enough to where they can stay down, and I know they won't be going anywhere. Yeah, I know this is, sorry I didn't get a chance to edit this out. I was just in a rush to speed up the video so that I could upload it, and then I didn't get a chance to until today. It sat all weekend on my computer, so sorry. I can't believe how crooked that H looks. Now that I'm looking at it on the video, I can't believe how crooked it looks. I don't think I go back and change it, so oh my goodness. And then I had a difficult time rearranging the Y to kind of fit where I wanted to and make the spacing okay. Well, the first Y in every. And then I wanted that O to land in the middle of the heart. It's the heart die cut behind the lettering there. And so I fiddled with that for a little bit. And finally, you know what, I just need to go for it. I need to stop just stressing about it, because after I spend like at that hour mark with a page, like I just get so antsy to where like it's either done or it's not. So it needs to just be done. So I knew that, you know, once these alphas were down, that I would have an easier time arranging arranging the rest of the page. So I'm just trying to figure out the placement so that it looks good to me. And you know what? At some point, I didn't care if it landed right in there. It still ended up being there. So I think that's really neat. I'm cutting up this piece of paper, but I was having difficulty arranging the photos, so I wanted a place to put them down and have them not move, and I could still rearrange it on the page. So I just put some adhesive down and was kind of just rearranging my photos. And with the ATG gun, the tape isn't like permanent until like the next day. So, and then here I go putting adhesive on the back, and then I put adhesive on the front of something, and so all these stuff got like stuck together. It was quite frustrating. Kind of like laughed at myself, and was just like, oh, I can't believe you actually did that. So here I am just kind of rearranging it so that I can get it to fit. And then I'm going to do the same with the top so that I can move it around as one piece of 8 visual photos. So here I am. And the photos are arranged, just the photos that I actually had on my computer. I know I had tons in my hard drive. I wanted to use the ones. I didn't want to wait to edit more photos to get them together. September and Christmas point there too. So I just added a couple of those die cuts and the stickers, and then I spent a little bit more time finding extra things to add to the page. But like I said, with the and the size of my title, I was just having a difficult. Took me a while to figure out where that wooden flag was going. And then I stuck down the wood potty people with some blue dots and adding some twine to the tag there, which is going to have my journaling. I like my journaling out in the open because most of the people don't know to, or you know, my family doesn't know to pull out something to read a tag. So I wanted to use the stamp at least once, and then I know with this that given that I have a lot of room, I went ahead and I stamped this one. It says Little Moments. Here where it's wet cement ink, I actually end up covering that up. I stamped one more stamp at the very top, and it says Love, and that's the only stamp that ends up showing up on the page because I end up covering the bottom one with a chipboard letter. So here I am just adding some of the buttons there, the veneer buttons with the epoxy centers. And then I wanted to add at least a couple of the brads. This one is a fabric brad that says Today, and I'm putting that in the center of. What else am I doing? Another sticker. That one says So Much Love. And then just a little blue heart in the same color as the background paper. And there is the little chipboard piece that covers up my stamping. And I just adhere it with some glue dots. I'm so impatient to use my glue, honestly. That's why I end up going to my glue dots for most of everything. Since the pictures were a series of photos throughout the year, I used these alphas here to just put in 2012. And then I go back and I put their initials on this little chipboard piece there on the arrow. And then I'm writing out my journaling. That's a post-it from inside the book that it's like a bookmark for the page. And pre-writing my journaling really helps when it comes to finishing a page. I feel like when I scrap in the middle of the night and it's one of the last things that I do, I end up just going over it and my grammar is awful when I end up writing it late at night. So pre-writing my journaling is a major plus. Here I am just going through some of the supplies on my desk to see if I can't add something else. It's always a rule of thumb for me to, if I continue to add more, I might end up liking it. That is an epoxy sticker from Skippings, and it's just a little speech bubble with a heart in the center. And then I added, I could have sworn I added something else, but I could be wrong. Yep. It's kind of all over the place trying to make everything work, and at some point I realized I need to be done. This is just a rub-on, a gray rub-on of a butterfly that I'll show you guys in a close-up. It didn't rub on all the way, but I'm fine with it because it's just a little peekaboo type of accent. So I've been trying to get rid of that rub-on pack forever, so that's why it sits on my desk. So here are some close-up. There's the butterfly, the flags, the potty people, and the fabric brad, and the chipboard and the stickers. See, so nothing big. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!